Yeah, thanks everyone for being on the call. It's obviously an exciting day for our organization. It certainly took a full team effort to be here and get this done. So I'm incredibly excited. I also wanted to say a quick happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians on the call. I'm American, but I hope you're enjoying some turkey this weekend.
Go ahead with the first question for Kevin.
Kevin, it's John Worrell with the Associated Press. Congratulations on the signing. I guess you called it a team effort. How important was the connection of Ralph in Edmonton in this whole thing coming down?
Yeah, very important. I think the way that Ralph had built a relationship in his time with Taylor previously absolutely played a big role in this. The reason that I talk about the teamwork is, we really spent a lot of time over the last couple of days with between ownership and myself and Ralph and others, just really having open, honest communication with Taylor and his representatives, and got to this point. So I'm really excited about that, and yeah, it was absolutely an important piece of this. In how integral that played in all of this Ralph's relationship.
Kevin, Mike Harrington here at the News. When free agency started, how realistic did you think was your bid to Eichel-Hall going to be, given what he said at the end of the Edmonton bubble, how it's about trying to get back in the playoffs, and he hadn't been there much? I mean, did you think it was more a shot in the dark, or when did you get the sense that he might actually come?
Well, I think going into our planning leading up to free agency, obviously starting with the conversations with Terry and Kim, we begun to put together what we would love to see this roster look like. I think the fact that we did this signing with Taylor underlines ownership's commitment. They've proven that over and over again in this city, and what they've done for this organization is incredible, and this is another example of that. So as we went into free agency, I called as soon as it opened. I called Darren Ferris immediately and let him know our interest, and then we went from there. So that was our top of our list priority of trying to figure out how we put this roster together, and we were hopeful that we'd be able to get this to this point, but we knew that it was going to take a lot of conversation, Mike, and we knew it had to be a fit for both sides. They made it very clear in the beginning to Darren and Ferris and their group that we want players that want to be here. We want players that are humble and hungry and want to win and want to be part of something special. And if that didn't fit, then we wouldn't keep going down the road and have conversations. But it became very clear quickly that there was interest, and Taylor had an interest in being here and being part of something special, and here's where we got to. So it's exciting.
Kevin, it's
Paul Hamilton from WGRT. I was wondering, why 1 year? Was that something that the Sabres and you wanted was just 1 year, or was that something that came from Taylor's side that they only wanted 1 year?
Well, I think from our standpoint, we were open to different scenarios, and we're looking to make sure, Paul, that we do things responsibly in how we put our roster together. But just because it's 1 year shouldn't give any indication that that's what we only wanted 1 year. We believe in Taylor as a player and as a person, and we hope this turns into a long-term relationship, for both sides that works. So we'll see where that goes, but we've made that clear to them, and they made that clear to us as well.
Kevin, I'm still happy with the time, Harold. Just besides Ralph's presence, what else do you think helped lure Taylor to Buffalo? How did you sell him? What do you think he liked about joining the Sabres?
Well, I felt that through our conversations, there was a common theme of if he is at a point in his career where he wants to be in a place where he believes not only can he be an impact player and a difference maker and be the elite world-class player that he is, but he also is putting himself in a position to have success and I believe, obviously, by the signing that he thought that could happen here. And look, he obviously studied our roster. We talked about that. We had in-depth conversations with him about, philosophically as an organization, what we're looking to do. We know that we haven't been good enough. We have to go earn it. This is a position we're in right now where we have to go and get better every day and work to become the team that all of us want this to become. So we wanted him part of that, as a piece of the puzzle, and he did as well. So, I certainly think when he looked at our roster, he felt comfortable with where, how he could fit in and what it would mean, for him as well as the bigger picture of the team.
Hey, Kevin, it's John Morrow once again. Given all there was a cloud of negativity that seemed to hang over the Sabres, whether you were aware of it or not this offseason. How much of a boost, how much of a needed boost is this signing to a team that was, to you and the team that was looking for something positive to happen?
Well, I feel very. I've been honest with you guys from the day that I got named in this job. This is about just doing things the right way, doing it together, doing it collaboratively, being open and honest about where we are currently and where we want to go. And in my role, I haven't really been focused on what's being said on the outside. I've been extremely focused on how do we improve, how do we put ourselves in a position that we put a roster together that we feel can get better and better and better and compete to win a Stanley Cup. And that's it. That's been my focus, John. So I hope that, I guess the way you framed it, I certainly hope that the players and coaches and our staff and the organization are excited, and I hope our fans are excited. But this is a great step. But we're in a position where now we have to go earn it. We have to go get better every day.
Hey, Kevin, I'm curious, we talk about Ralph and that relationship, but how much does the presence of Jack Eichel come up in conversation with Taylor and his representatives and the opportunity to play with Jack? How much of it was that a part of this, him agreeing to come to Buffalo, do you think?
Yeah, I think it definitely played a role, and I think that we see this as a really good fit. We're very fortunate here in Buffalo to have one of the elite centers in the game, and we feel that we're adding one of the elite wingers in the game. So we're excited about the potential of that. I think Ralph will put together the roster the way, on the ice and the lines and all that, the way he feels to put us in a position to have the best success. But clearly we identified that as a possibility, and I do think Taylor obviously understands the player that Jack is. But we feel fortunate in the sense that we've built some depth up the middle now. When you look at our centermen, our four centers, we feel very strongly about, and I think that's a critical piece of success in this league and how you match up against other teams.
Hey, Kevin, John Vogel, as you mentioned, it's going to take a lot of talks once free agency open. How many talks were there? Did he come to town? And obviously you had to sell him, but what sold you guys on him as well?
Yeah, I think for me, having really good conversations, not only with Taylor but his representatives. Obviously, we did our homework in terms of the type of person and competitor that he is, and we really felt strongly going into free agency that he was going to be someone that would add on and off the ice, and that's a really important part of how you put a team together. Clearly having Ralph's insight into the type of person and player was very helpful. Ralph did have a number of conversations directly with Taylor. You have to ask Ralph when he does the media exactly how many and how long, but I know they spent quite a bit of time over the last 2 days talking. So that's to me what's critical in all of this, that we got to a place on both sides that there was a comfort level, and we all wanted the same thing, which is to put ourselves in a position to compete for a Stanley Cup, and that's what we're excited to try to work towards. And we know that this is a lot of work, and it's a lot of work in front of us, and we're just I think all of us kind of in that mentality of we're hungry and humble, and we just want to get better, period, and just go to work.
Kevin, Mike Harrington again. That salary cap money obviously goes away quickly when you start signing guys, and now you have arbitration cases coming. Where do you stand right now? Do you think in your mind you're pretty well set? Are you still potentially looking at the goalie market? How close to done do you feel with this?
Well, I think, Mike, it's to make sure that for me to do my job is to be having conversations daily, seeing how the market evolves in the coming weeks, seeing what happens in the trade market when conversations start back up, depending on how it shook out of free agency. So that's all ongoing. And then as we sit down and have those open, conversations with Terry and Kim and Ralph, and we discuss it and how do we need to tweak a roster, we'll continue to look at that. But we definitely feel like we took a big step here towards building what we were looking to do. And I guess for me, the last part of that is just to, we really studied this going into free agency of where our roster currently is and projecting out over time. So we spent a lot of time thinking about that, and that helps make decisions as well.
Kevin, Mike Pockler from HockeyBuzz.com. Congratulations on the Hall signing and bringing some joy to Mudville, quote unquote. Can you tell us a little bit about Toby Reeder and Cody Eakin, how they're going to fit into the lineup?
Yeah, we feel strongly that those were guys we had targeted before to think about how, if they were available, to how to have them be additions into our roster. Cody Eakin, leader, winner, character, really plays the role the way that we envision our team playing. As a centerman, just felt that was a really important piece. So we were excited yesterday to be able to get that done. And Reeder, Ralph has a history there, quality person, really high character as well, good speed. To kill penalties, and Irwin the same way, where we felt another high character, compete, quality player that's been in the league. So feel strongly that those guys will be an important piece of the puzzle here moving forward.
Kevin, it's Dan Rosen again with NHL.com. I just wanted to follow up on the term. You were saying just because it's 1 year, it doesn't give the indication that you just wanted Taylor for 1 year. But was that what Taylor was looking for? Was that just something to settle on for right now to get a relationship going? How does that work?
Yeah, when you talk to Taylor, you could ask him that. I think from our standpoint, we had really honest discussions back and forth, what they were looking for, what we were looking for out of this. And before talking about term or dollar amount, it was more about the fit. Does this fit for both sides? Does it make sense? And then you work off of that. So we got to a point where we both sides felt very strongly and comfortable with how this could work moving forward. We got to where we got to, obviously, with the contract, and then I think we're both excited to see where it can go from here.
Kevin, it's Brian Duff here. Just wondering how you would characterize the talks with your three players who have elected for salary arbitration.
Yeah, we've had dialogue. I think I've probably said this a few times to at least the local media. I totally respect the CBA and the rights and the process that you go through with as a player. When I was a player myself, you've earned certain rights depending on how long you've been in the league. But we've had good dialogue, and we feel very strongly that those are conversations that'll just continue and that we'll be able to get those done.